All right, on this episode of Bowks Talking Bouts, very much looking forward to speaking to an individual set for the PFL tournament finals of the 2024 campaign. Very excited to be talking to Brendan Loughnane, several subjects to get into with him, and great to have him on Bowks Talking Bouts today. How are you doing, man?
Great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And it just seems like a cool moment for you because I was seeing in doing my research that if you were to get your desired outcome here in this next fight, you would be in company with Larissa Pacheco and Kayla Harrison as the only two-time tournament winners in PFL. Like, would that be an especially big feat for you, like a capstone kind of achievement? That sounds like a big moment, just like pretty rarefied air, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It's legacy stuff, isn't it? I mean, being the first person from my country to win this thing, then to do it again before anyone else has done it, like it's just amazing. And I'm just so happy and privileged to be in this position and looking forward to Friday night.
Yeah, and I was seeing that you were, I guess, like eyeballing this as like perhaps the last tournament. Like, why is that? Just because of the arduous schedule that is required of a fighter during these tournaments? It seems like maybe the super fight division is catching the attention more so after this.
Yeah, of course. I mean, listen, this is my fourth tournament now. I've got nothing left to prove in tournament format fighting. I've proved that I'm tough and I'm durable and I can do these seasons, but I would much prefer to be doing super fights from here on out after this.
And I guess just because of your perspective, having been in multiple PFL tournaments, like how did this particular season feel with like the influx of the new Bellator fighters following the acquisition that has kind of been in play for the last year or so now at this juncture?
Well, just to talk some facts, I'm 3-0 against Bellator this year, about to be 4-0 on Friday. So the Bellator influx was good for Brenda.
Yeah, I mean, did you find like it really like I don't know, like really I guess like serve to like deepen the talent pool that much further? Does it make this particular season campaign that much sweeter because there's that deeper talent pool, I guess? Like you spoke to your success against Bellator fighters, so
Yeah, I mean, listen, there was a few years there where it was me, Movlead, and Chris Wade just fighting it out, and Bubba. So it's been great to have all the fresh talent up in here.
yeah, no, it's incredible. Love to see it. I guess with like some of those like super fights, like you were talking about wanting to kind of be part of that in a sense, and I've kind of gleaned that from some other interviews. Is that just representative of like a general idea, or are there like particular opponents within that where you're like, oh, okay, these could be fun guys to throw down with in that kind of context? Because you were even talking there about how there's just like so much more, I guess, talent within the PFL featherweight talent pool now. So it would seem like there would be a few options for super fights and whatnot.
No, it'd just be nice to not have to fight 4 times every 7 months. Be nice to just actually have some time off, have a camp fight, have a bit of time off. Like I've been stuck in this thing for 4 years. It's been great. It's been amazing. I've loved every second of it. It's made me the fighter and the human being that I am. But there's a time and a place for everything. Let's get the job done Friday, and then let's look at what's next.
Yeah, and I mean, not getting too far ahead of the fight itself, but I feel like it's the obligatory question everyone has. Like, is the plan for the million to kind of just allocate it towards just what you're doing to continue as a fighter? Or do you have like a particular idea for how you want to allocate that million if you get your ideal outcome here in the fight coming up?
I make smart investments. I know that fighting doesn't last forever, so I'm going to make this money last. It's been allocated efficiently. First one. Um, this season didn't even need to be done financially for me. Like I'm okay. Like times are good, but I wanted to come back. Especially after getting knocked out last year, show people. I didn't want my topology to end with a red mark and a loss at the end of it. So I came back this year. I've had the best season of my life. I've had the three best performances back to back. Two finishes should have been three, in my opinion, but we'll take it. And then Friday night, we top all a great season and a two-time PFL champion in Brendan Loughnane.
Yeah, and I guess I'm wondering your thoughts on your opponent in a certain sense, because I mean, getting to the finals against someone who's ultimately undefeated in professional MMA, like one would think that would be a good look to, put that first blemish on the record. And whatnot, just what he's been able to do in a 17-0 run. Like, what are your thoughts on, I guess, what he brings to the table in terms of, I guess, just skill set and resume? Because, like I was saying before, he came from Bellator previously and had gotten wins over guys like Daniel Weichel, and seemed like he had a pretty strong season as well by virtue of getting to the finals this year. So, like, what are your thoughts on what Timur Khizriev has been able to do so far, and just like what Timur has been able to put together this calendar year?
Listen, I'm under no illusion that it's a tough fight. Comes from a great gym, and he's an effective fighter. Um, but listen, this isn't my first rodeo fighting wrestlers. I've been here before. Um, I remember when I was undefeated. I've also beat a lot of undefeated fighters and took them O's, and that's where we're going to go on Friday night.
Yeah, so you feel like this is like a matchup you're, I guess, stylistically familiar with. Like this is going to be something that you can apply from maybe like previous fights that you've had and stuff like that. Like he presents similar challenges in that kind of regard, I guess.
Exact same problems as I've faced before. Movlead, Bubba Jenkins, Chris Wade, Tyler Diamond, like they're all wrestlers. Like they all say the strikers they have an exchange or two and then they shoot. So I know what I'm up against. You know, I've been here many, many times and I'm looking forward to it.
And I guess just curious to get some perceptions from you on just how, I guess, the scale of everything has seemed to kind of ramp up. Because I talked about the influx of Bellator talent, but it just seems like there's, I guess, a level of like discourse and I guess like notoriety for the PFL this year. I guess seems like there's more eyes on it than maybe some previous years. Like, can you, I guess, speak to that as someone who's been part of the PFL fold for like we've been talking about a little while now?
Yeah, it's grown exponentially since I joined here in 2019. It's been incredible to see, and it's a testament to PFL and the people behind the scenes.
Yeah, it just seems like there's some big movement being made and stuff like that. And yeah, just love to see it. I mean, such great talent all around for sure. And yeah, I mean, that's ultimately what you want anyway. So yeah, just love to see it. Love to, follow what's going on with PFL. And just, I love these events too, because as much as this is an incredibly intriguing fight, I feel like you could have, just this fight on the card and people would be coming to check it out. But people have been invested in all these different divisions throughout the season and the calendar year. And we're now having all these different championship attractions now. It should be a good one. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I lost count of how many title fights there is, but there's a hell of a lot of title fights on one bill. I don't think it's ever been done before that a show at this level has put on as many title fights as they have on one show. So it's going to be an exciting night for sure.
And I was kind of curious just because I'd seen an article from a while ago. This was circa after his fight that he had at UFC 282, but you were talking about how like Darren Till maybe needs like a voice of reason or like some like head coach kind of character in his life. Like, what are your thoughts on his looming boxing fight against Tommy Fury at the beginning of next year there?
I think that was a perfect move for Darren Till. I think he shoots that game down to a T. He's really good with his mouth, you know, and I think he's sold the fight already. We're all interested, we're all intrigued, and I'm excited to watch it. I can't wait.
Yeah, do you have any particular thought as to how that could play out, or are there just like so many question marks like with that maybe you're not looking at it in the sense of like how it might play out bell to bell, but maybe just like the entertainment factor like leading into it and maybe after even.
Listen, people get mad at all this influencer boxing stuff and all that, but I'm into it. Like at the end of the day, they're still going to get in and fight each other. I love all the camaraderie, I love the build up. You know, the fact that the Furies are involved and Darren Till's involved, it's must see TV.
Yeah, I was gonna say it seems like there's a certain level of flexibility PFL affords some of their talent. Is that something you would ever want to do? Like maybe don the big gloves and throw down in that kind of context, or maybe not?
PFL have already allowed me to box before, and I'm very grateful for that. And if the opportunity was to arise, I would definitely take it.
Yeah, I just love to see that. Like, how much do you appreciate that as a fighter? I guess just having those opportunities in ultimately multiple combat sports, I would think as a fighter, having like a promoter that provides that kind of flexibility would be just such a game changer.
Yeah, it's unheard of in this industry to have flexibility like that. So when someone comes along like PFL and does allow you things like that, I mean, it's great for us fighters, gives us other avenues. And I mean, it's fantastic like to have options, so especially towards the latter stages of your career.
Yeah, well said. And just being mindful of your time. I know there's a lot of people that are wanting to talk to you by virtue of being in such a high level fight. But I guess with this upcoming contest against Timur Khizriev, like I'm wondering, like, what's the headline gonna read after this one? Like, what are the big like article headlines that are gonna be generating from this upcoming fight that you have here for the PFL 2024 tournament title?
And the Loughnane does it again.
Yeah, I love that. It's been a great journey to follow, and yeah, it should be an awesome one to follow. November 29th. I'm going to be certainly tuning into all of that. It's been a great season to follow along with. And just thanks so much for coming on the platform and giving some insights there, Brendan. You have a good rest of your day. And just, yeah, looking forward to peeping the fight when it goes down. And yeah, thanks so much, man.
Dylan, thanks for having me, my friend.